Hey everybody, this is Professor Malat, and I'm going to talk to you about the annotated bibliography assignment. So this week, and typically the second week of each unit for this course, is a bit challenging for students because we have this annotated bibliography assignment. Typically, we ask you to have 5 sources listed in your annotated bibliography. And because this is such a challenging assignment for students, and we're only in the second week of classes, I have changed that so that we are actually only going to be looking for 3 sources for this first annotated bibliography, but that will change in the other units. So this is just to get you started and to get you used to the whole process of doing the annotated bibliography. The first time you do it, it's kind of overwhelming because there's just so much information that I need to provide for you in order to successfully do this assignment. So here we are on the course page, and we have the context and to-do list, and you'll see there's actually 2 parts to the assignment. We have the thesis statements, which I'm going to talk about in a different lecture, and the annotated bibliography. So this part's just concerning points 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well, actually 4 through 8 on this to-do list that we have. No, 5 through 8. So in order to do the annotated bibliography, you need to get used to using the Cincinnati State Library itself, because you're going to be looking for electronic resources in this asynchronous class. So I've assigned for you this library skill builder modules. They are fairly short. They're about 10 minutes each, but it just walks you through the library guide and helps you to learn about search strategies, finding articles in Academic Search Complete, and evaluating your sources. All important strategies when you are learning how to do research. There's also a link here to the English 102 Library Research Guide. And you can do these yourself. They will tell you how to log into the databases and that kind of thing. So these are really good, and I highly recommend them, and you will receive extra credit if you send me your screenshot of the certificate of completion. Moving on to the annotated bibliography, I have a folder set up that has some handouts, informational handouts that explain a bit more. There's one from the Writing Center at the University of North Carolina, and then there's another one from the Purdue OWL. I find this one to be a little bit easier to understand, so if you don't want to read both of them, then absolutely make sure that you read this one so you know what you are going to do for this assignment. I'm going to click on it, and it explains to you what a bibliography is and what an annotation is and what essentially the annotated bibliography is. So it's similar to your works cited page, and if you took English 101 here at Cincinnati State, then you should be familiar with that. The third essay in English 101, at least for the past 2 years, has been a research essay, which requires you to have a works cited page. If you did not take English 101 here and you haven't done any kind of writing that requires a works cited page, I recommend that you do some Googling and find out how to do works cited and that kind of thing. Purdue OWL is an excellent resource for that, but I'm not going to show you in this video how to find that information. So anyway, the annotated bibliography is similar to your works cited. However, because it has the bibliographic information of your source that you're using in your paper. However, it is a separate document all on its own. It's not a part of your research paper. It's not a part of your argumentative essay. This is a separate assignment. So it's similar in that you actually use that citation that you will also use in your works cited page, but it's different because you also include an annotation. And an annotation, as they say here on this page, is a summary or an evaluation of that source. So essentially what you're doing is summarizing the source, basically saying what the main arguments are, what it's all about, etc., so on and so forth. And then you're going to assess and reflect. You're going to assess. You're going to judge how it might be helpful to you. Will it be a useful source? Does it compare to other sources in your bibliography? Is it reliable information? Is it biased or objective? You know, what overall is the goal of the source? And then reflect how it's going to be helpful for you. How might it help you shape your argument? How you can use it in your research project. And that, in a nutshell, is what an annotated bibliography is. Let me close these links. Going back to our annotated bibliography folder, actually going back to our course page. If you look in the resources for week 2 folder, you're going to see a couple of things that will help you, some resources that will help you with your research and helping to get your annotated bibliography organized. The first one here is a source evaluation rubric, and this is a PDF, and this will help you to judge whether your source is one that you want to use. If you're just doing a Google search and not using the library guide, chances are you're going to come across some stuff that you're not sure would be good to use in your paper. So this can be a helpful tool for you to evaluate your source, to make sure that it's credible, reliable, you know, has authority, all of those things that we talk about in the quote unquote crap test, that once you do your library tutorials, you will actually understand a little bit more about crap. But this just helps you to evaluate it. It's not a required thing. You don't have to use it, but it can be a helpful tool in evaluating your sources. The other tool is this annotated bibliography graphic organizer. So this is how you put together your annotations, and I'll show you in a moment what an actual annotation looks like. So again, you start with that citation. It's going to be an MLA format. It's just going to be that same information that you would put in your works cited page. You start with that citation. That means it's the author's name, the title of the article, all the publishing information, and if it's a website, which I'm going to assume it is, you will have the URL. Again, there are resources that will help you. And once I go back to this main folder, I'll show you the other resource. You're going to follow that with a summary. You're going to have some assessment sentences and then a reflection. So it's going to be a paragraph at least under your citation material. Typically about what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 10 sentences. Not super long, but make sure that you cover all the bases. What's the main idea? What's the argument? Why is it reliable? And how are you going to use it in your research? Okay, so that is the annotated bibliography graphic organizer. Again, this is just a tool. It's not required that you fill out this way. But now let me show you. Actually, I'll come back to Citation Machine in a minute. I want to show you this Word document. This is an annotated bibliography entry that actually needs a little bit of tweaking here, but you see we have the two parts. We have the citation here. This is the citation information here. And then there is a paragraph that the student wrote that kind of summarizes and discusses the source. So first of all, what we need to do, and this is a formatting thing, is we need to change the formatting so that it's double spaced. I simply do that by highlighting the text, and then I right click and I come to paragraph, and then I do line spacing, and we want it to be double spaced. And there, that spaces things out a little bit more. However, we also want to make sure that we can tell the difference between the citation and then the paragraph. So one way we can do that is to indent that paragraph. And then the other thing we do with our citations, and this is one of those quirky MLA formatting things, is we use what's called a hanging indent. So again, what I do is I highlight the text and I come back to this paragraph by right-clicking the paragraph menu, open up that menu, and then we see here indentation, special, and we choose hanging, and watch this magic. Woohoo! So now we have the hanging indent. So you can choose not to have your paragraph indented there, or if you want to, you could even move it over so that it's in line with this. It's really kind of up to you. I'm not totally particular about it, but I do insist on the hanging indent for the citation. And that is simply because it makes it easier to scan through the document and to see each new entry for your annotated bibliography. So the other thing for this assignment is that you want to give this page a title, right? So you're going to center, and we'll actually call it Annotated Bibliography. So there are a few things to keep in mind with your annotated bibliography. You want to make sure that all of your citations, just like your works cited page, that all your citations are listed in alphabetical order. It doesn't matter if it starts with the title of an article or if it starts with the last name of an author. It's always alphabetized. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So yeah, look for 3 sources, and for your final paper, you will actually be using the video as one of your sources. So I want you to look for 3 sources outside of the video using the library guide. There was something else I wanted to show you. Oh yes, Citation Machine. So again, here I have a link to Citation Machine. So what Citation Machine is a citation generator. It's a very helpful tool, especially when you have when you're dealing primarily with electronic sources and using URLs. You can plug that URL in, and then Citation Machine picks out all the important information most of the time and will piece together a citation for you. And this is just a short video. It's about 7 minutes long that guides you through how to use Citation Machine if you've not used it before. And I'll show you, this is the end result. I plugged in the URL for the video that we are watching for this first essay, and it comes up with the citation for you. Make sure that you have MLA 9, and then make sure the citation looks correct, and then you can copy the citation. And if I share my Word document again, you could then paste that in. Make sure that your paragraph and your indents and all that important stuff is done, and then you have that as your citation, and then you could just come down here and write something about the video that we just watched, right? Start your annotation there. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about the annotated bibliography, please email me. I realize that this is a very time-consuming assignment, and because the English department designs the course, and scaffolds the assignments and picks the dates and all of that stuff. I'm not really at liberty to change things all that much, so I know that it might seem very overwhelming, and just try your best. I don't need you to get it perfect, but just try your best. You have several other opportunities to learn how to do an annotated bibliography, and hopefully by that third unit, you will know what you're doing and you'll be more comfortable with the whole process, and it won't be as nerve-wracking as it is this first time. Just try your best, and if you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.